Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In this video, we're gonna start off with a story from the subreddit Relationship Advice that involves an ultimatum. And of course, we have an update on this one. And then we're gonna move on to a fantastically nice petty revenge. So, if you want to navigate through the different parts of the video, of course, you can always use the timestamps right below it. Now, let's get started with the first story. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice, and it's by user TAOKMention. My boyfriend, male 26, is being a jerk about a job opportunity, and I, female 26, feel really sad about it. I recently had a job interview for a dream job. It would undoubtedly change the whole trajectory of my career, propelling me into a whole new ballgame with a ton of growth potential. The opportunity is around 6 figures. The pay would be enough to afford a house, actually save for retirement, and it has full benefits. Also, I would get equity in the company, and this job has the kind of name recognition that would open pretty much any door I wanted afterward. However, it's in a different state. Work background. At my current job, I do not have health insurance through my work. I have no benefits. My growth has been stagnant for over a year, maybe even 2. I applied to so many jobs in our town that I am still averaging about 2 to 3 rejection letters every day. Literally being rejected by everywhere else I have applied. In my boyfriend's case, he's reached the pay cap. It doesn't matter how much he works, he will not be able to make any more money. It is significantly less than what I will be making, and he would like to find a different job. Relationship background. We've been dating for just shy of 2 years. I had a period where I was struggling a lot emotionally. I had some childhood trauma come up, a terrible bout of depression, horrible anxiety, and panic attacks. The city we lived in was far from where I grew up, so I didn't have many friends and family to utilize as a support system. My boyfriend was not very equipped to handle this. I felt like I couldn't talk to him about it, particularly my childhood traumas. It made him feel insecure and he would verbally lash out at me, and I didn't feel very emotionally safe in our relationship. It became a pretty bad cycle of me not feeling safe, him feeling insecure, lashing out, and me still not feeling safe. I began to think about moving back to my hometown to be with the people I knew could support me. I can't stress enough how bad it got. I felt like I was unraveling and going crazy. And all of this served to make my boyfriend incredibly insecure about our relationship. I ended up taking a bootstraps approach to my mental health. I got back into therapy, I went to support groups, I got medicated. He demonstrated more willingness to let me talk about my issues and problems without lashing out at me. We hit a stride, and we were really happy, very in love. We were both so excited for our future. Anyway, before applying, I did ask my boyfriend if he would be open to moving with me, to which he said yes. When I got the interview, I was beyond happy. Again, this job could pretty much change my life. He was supportive enough until I made it through the first round of interviews. Since then, he has gotten pretty mean about it. He was clearly not happy for me and would get upset when I talked about it. Which was a real bummer because I'm incredibly excited and I don't feel like I can talk to him about it, or if I do, I can expect his reaction to being a poor one. We went out to a bar with a mutual friend and I told him about the position. He asked me when I would have to relocate should I get it. I responded and my boyfriend said, "Just enough time for me to find a new girlfriend." He made a few jokes about getting a new girlfriend. I responded that I would want to take him with me. He said, "No way I'm doing that." I felt both sad and embarrassed because all of this was in front of our friend. Later that night, when we were home, we got in a fight about it. He told me that if I got the job, he would literally break up with me. He accused me of being distant and trying to run away from him. I was kind of taken aback by this, as I felt that I had been pretty clear that I would want him to come with me, and I felt like our relationship had been in a good place. I did not feel distant from him, nor have I had the desire to create distance with him. I tried to remind him that I largely have been exclusively applying to jobs in our state, and that this job opportunity is just hypothetical. I'm still very early on in the interview process. I feel pretty alone right now. I feel unsupported and frankly worried that he's already having such a negative reaction that he's so angry with me and I haven't even been offered the position yet. I feel like something I was so excited about has quickly become a source of pain and discord. Any advice on how to handle this situation would be greatly appreciated. Well, OP, first thing I would say is congratulations on the opportunity. It sounds amazing. I hope you get it. And regarding your boyfriend, he gave you an ultimatum. He said that if you did get the job, then he would break up with you. Well, I'd take him up on that. When that kind of thing goes on the table, then it's a deal breaker, at least in my opinion. Ultimatums like that don't work out. This would be life-changing for you, life-changing for the both of you if you're both in it for the long haul. But apparently, him staying in the city that he is in that pay-kept job is more important to him than what fulfills you. That doesn't sound like partner behavior in my opinion, and apparently he's not even willing to talk about it. He's making these passive-aggressive jokes about finding a new girlfriend and outright saying that it will not happen with him moving with you. The kind of opportunity that you talk about is one of those unicorns that just appear. You gotta take it, OP. At least, that's what I would do in your case. What about you guys? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes in that relationship? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Sleepflower80 says, "This is such an amazing opportunity for you. The fact that he makes jokes about it and makes you feel bad and embarrassed in front of your friends is a red flag. Putting you down like that for jokes. It honestly sounds like you'd be so much better off accepting this job. I'm excited for you and what the future holds. Best of luck to you." Minky Monkey says, "This story is sad. He obviously didn't think you stood a chance when he first said he'd consider moving. Quote, just enough time for me to find a new girlfriend." A lot of flushed emojis. "If you don't go, you'll never get over this with him. This is so manipulative and hurtful and selfish. I would have grabbed my things and left the bar. How embarrassing. Seriously, this is so ridiculously selfish. He's basically giving you an ultimatum. I would give the ultimatum back to him. Even if you don't get this job, how will you put his comments and behavior behind you?" Dixie Normas 1 says, "Your boyfriend doesn't know how to communicate at all. He feels more hurt than he's letting on, and he's lashing out. He's making this about him and you leaving him. I have a suspicion that he didn't think you'd get as far as you have with this new position. Does he have a fantastic career with advancement opportunities that would prevent him from going with you? Unfortunately, he's acting fairly selfish and not giving you the support you need and deserve. I'd let him know this, and if he's still being rude and spiteful, then I think it's time for a fresh start on a personal level as well. Sorry you're going through this, but I do hope you get a new position." And OP responds, "Thanks for your response. I think he is taking it very personally. He doesn't particularly like his current job and there isn't much room for career growth and has already hit the pay cap within his role. And his salary isn't enough for us to afford a house or prepare for the future. Now, he's been looking for new work in a different industry where there is more growth potential. This new city would actually have a lot of opportunity in that industry and it really could be a great move for him as well. But he's seemingly uninterested. He's just been so angry with me." Well, the community's pretty much telling OP in unison that she needs to check her relationship and see if it has any kind of future or not, regardless of whether she gets the position or not. And everybody's rooting for OP to get the position. That's my stand as well. And with OP's response to the last comment, it's gotten even stronger because the boyfriend would also have a lot of growth opportunities in this new city. It doesn't make any sense to me that he would be against it. In any case, OP did give us an update a month after the original post. So how about we continue with that and see what happened? Before I made my original post, my boyfriend and I had signed a lease for an apartment we found in our favorite neighborhood. We were thrilled. The lease was signed in advance of us having to move by at least a month and a half. When I asked if he was open to relocation, the lease had already been signed. When I applied, it seemed like such a long shot, I wasn't sure I'd even get an interview. Anyway, we moved into our new apartment and everything was great. Until, not even a week into our lease, I got the call that I had gotten the dream job. I was elated. I was crying. I called my parents and they cried. My friends were telling strangers about the job. They were that excited for me, and it's really that big of a deal. When I told my boyfriend, I was beyond myself with joy, expressed all of the things I was excited to do for our future now that I would be making that kind of money. It would be an understatement to say that he reacted poorly. The news devastated and angered him. What was among the happiest moments of my life quickly devolved into 2 days of non-stop crying, harsh words, and anger. I tried to talk to him about all the ways we could make it work. He asked if I was really going to take the job. I said, yes, of course, I have to. He was of the mindset that I was betraying him, abandoning him, and running away from him. I thought we had reached a better place with it, and left for a trip I had planned for months in advance to see my family for my birthday. He would text me wall after wall of messages about how I was ruining his life, used him as a stepping stone, and was tossing our relationship away for money. He accused me of taking the first opportunity I could to get away from him. He used my past struggles with mental health as evidence that I have always been running away from him, never committed to him, and was always looking for a way out. To him, I was bailing, effing him over. He said I knew I was going to get the job and that it was my plan all along. I was essentially his punching bag for all of his disappointment and anger. On my birthday, hello Saturn return, I could tell he was sad, so I called him. I talked through with him about what his dreams for his career were. All of the areas of interest he expressed I had some experience with, so explained what his next steps would be and how I could help him. I was so proud of him because I know how hard it can be to make moves towards bettering your situation when you're feeling bad. I told my family how proud I was of him. The next day, it was back to me being the punching bag. He said all manner of cruel things to me and about me. My parents caught me sobbing. All I could express was my disappointment and how heartbroken I was. He eventually apologized. I said I didn't know the person he was being and it was not someone I would want to be with. He said the behavior would stop. I told him that I understood how he was feeling, how the situation sucked, how the timing was terrible, how all of his feelings were valid, but I wasn't willing to be raked over the coals and punished anymore. He agreed. I asked him what he would do to prevent the behavior from happening again. I had hoped he would say therapy, but he said he was going to start working out more. Of course, the behavior did not stop. Again, the wall of texts. He said if I loved him, I wouldn't take the job. Nothing I said could convince him that my taking the job was not a reflection of my feelings for him or an indication of wanting to run away from him. I wanted to uplift us both. It truly wasn't about him or my perception of his worth. He could not or would not hear me. It essentially came down to, it's me or the job. He said he needed a year in the apartment to show him I was committed to him. If I could find this job, surely I could find a job of equal caliber where we lived. Well, I accepted the offer, we broke up, I cancelled my return flight, and I'm living with my parents. The sad part is, because of the Delta variant, I could be working remotely until February 2022. He may not have gotten the full year he wanted, but I could have had 6 months. Anyway, I agreed to pay rent for the next 6 months. I offered to help him find a roommate, but he says he would prefer to live alone. And that's it. OP took the job and she's now moving on with her life. I say good for her. I'm sorry your relationship ended like that, OP, and that your boyfriend acted that way. But he showed you what he was about. He was about himself. He wasn't willing to move, even if it meant it could be a better opportunity for him. Instead of working with you for your future together, he decided to go against you, and he used you taking this job to blame you and maybe feel better about breaking the relationship. He put you in the impossible situation of it's me or the job. Well, considering that this opportunity is only positives, then I'd say it's the job. Good for you, OP. You made the right choice. Now, hopefully you can keep moving forward. All the best to you. And now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge, and it's by user TZej. I control the internet. I work at a cafe in a major city in the USA. We're not listed as an internet cafe. It's completely expected that one comes in, purchases something, and then proceeds to use the internet. Technically, free Wi-Fi isn't free if you have to purchase something. So we're honest about it. Google Maps shows paid Wi-Fi, and our website explains it. Here's the revenge. The Wi-Fi went out during a very busy day. Most everyone is a regular customer and was very understanding, except for Kay. Now, Kay was sitting inside for 3 hours without patronizing the business. The moment the Wi-Fi went out, she was furious. I've never personally seen her before, and I'm there almost every day. Once I announced the Wi-Fi was down and I was working on the issue, she came right up to me and demanded to watch me try to fix it, while being generally insulting and insinuating it was being done to her, personally, on purpose. It wasn't. This continued for the next 20 minutes. Generally, I let most things slide. Not today, Satan. I'm not even supposed to be there working behind the counter. I'm covering. Also, I'm the manager. I run the internet here. I also specifically bought a router where I can limit or deny access to any device I choose. Most people name their computers, and it's pretty easy to guess who is who, especially if you're using something like a Lenovo. Once the internet came back, I guessed her MAC address and permanently blocked her computer from our network. And of course, she freaked. I thought I'm an idiot base level employee though. What do I know? Definitely nothing about computers. The end. Sweet, sweet petty revenge against people who are generally annoying like K, which I'm guessing stands for Karen. Well done, OP. Thank you for sharing. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing, and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.